Hi Lance, how are you?
Nice to meet you. Yeah, pretty good, Craig. How are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. It's good to see you.
It's been
September.
2 months.
Yeah, it was
losing track.
Bangkok, Thailand. Now we're in Barcelona.
Other side of the
world.
Side of the world. It's
That's
very
what-
different.
Yeah. I've also flown in from Asia as well. A couple of weeks in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, well, I did. After Bangkok, I went home and the floodgates opened because when we spoke, Japan was still closed.
Okay, yeah.
And literally, that ITNCMA in Bangkok finished, and I think it finished around the 8th or the 9th. No, and then it finished about the end of that month, and then the 11th, the next month, Japan opened up.
Yep.
So it's just been insane for us. Lots and lots of calls, and obviously interest has been sort of building up over the last 3 years, and now they sort of opened the floodgates. So
That's really good to hear.
and then after that I went to Poland for the Eco Congress, which is really nice. Krakow was amazing, and then back for a week, and then back here. So busy year.
Should have stayed in Europe for a week.
I wanted to, but that would have been perfect. And we could probably Kobe's quite well known in Asia and Japan, but not so much in Europe. So I always want to do something. I always wonder about that. Like after the shows, should we stay and do a week and just go visit some more of the bigger travel agents and just tell them about Kobe and sort of.
What would you tell them about Kobe? It's a destination that's not one I'm familiar with. I'd love to know more.
Exactly right. So I think there's a few things that I usually try to pinpoint and say, look, this is why you would like to maybe be interested in coming to see Kobe, and especially because obviously Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka are 3 really big popular destinations in Japan. So obviously we have to sort of pull business away from them and try to get people interested in something that's not the big 3. In Japan we call it the golden route. So so for me the first big thing is the location is fantastic. So you've got really good access with Kansai International Airport, 30 minutes by boat in Kobe, and you've got 2 domestic airports right near Kobe, and you've also got the bullet train, the Shinkansen. So I mean, access is fantastic. So that's one part of why the location's great. The other part of why the location's great is just geographically speaking, Kobe is sort of this really narrow city, and it's sort of located between this large mountain range, which you call the Rokko Mountain Range, and the Seto Inland Sea. So you've got like this beautiful mountain range, you've got this really sort of modern, fashionable sort of cosmopolitan city that's quite international. Japan's not the most international country in the world, but some of the largest cities, including Kobe, are quite international, and you've got the ocean as well. So it's this really pretty city, and what that sort of provides you with is when people come to Japan, they think obviously high tech, Blade Runner, neon signs, modern cities, nightlife, which Kobe has all that. But because you've got these mountains and the ocean so close, you can sort of stay in the city and be very comfortable.
So in a way, like if we were to refer it to Europe, we're actually in Barcelona just now, which is quite maybe similar.
You're right.
Geographic,
There's a few cities like around the world that I would say,
Cape Town.
Yeah, and compare Kobe, then maybe Hong Kong's another one, sort of a mini version of Hong Kong. Obviously, we're not on the same scale as those cities. But because we're a little bit smaller, you can be in the centre of the city, and I think it's 4 kilometres. From the ocean to the mountains. No, sorry, it's 2 kilometres. Why am I doubling it? So if you're in the centre of the city, you walk 1 kilometre in the ocean on the port, and it's a beautiful sort of marina with lots of shopping and great restaurants.
Nice.
Lots of alfresco dining, and then you walk the opposite direction, and you can be in the middle of the mountains. So it just gives you this escape from the hustle and bustle of the big city. So that's old Japan. You've got the the shrines and temples, lots of history, and it's just. I think it provides that, like, in such a small compact, you're getting the best of modern, new, shiny Japan, but the old and the traditional, historical side of it as well.
You're getting that lovely mix of culture. You're getting the wellness. A lot of people are adding into programs quite rightfully now, and also having the infrastructure in place to essentially use the water and some amazing event spaces by the looks of it.
And wellness is one of the things we rebranded as a MICE sort of as a meetings and events city right before the pandemic, which is pretty bad timing. There wasn't much opportunity for promotion or direct promotion in the last 3 years, but and that was one of our big things. Like we didn't want to just jump on the bandwagon with wellness and things like that, which is quite tempting to do, but because of Kobe's location location. You've got that nature so close to the city.
Yep.
It was just a natural thing to, like, you know, you've got wellness retreats that have been there for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Like, you've got an area called the Arima Hot Springs, which is just 20 minutes from the center of Kobe City over in the mountains. And that's an old hot springs retreat that's been used by, you know, feudal lords and emperors past. For, you know, there's recorded history of that place. I think it's from either the 8th or the 6th century. So it's, you know, it's the original wellness retreat type.
It's someone who's clearly not a native from Kobe. We last spoke. You mentioned that you moved over for a short period and you've stayed. How long have you been there now?
So this summer, 10 years in Kobe.
Wow.
So so that's 10 years straight in Kobe. But I did do a couple of years before going back and forth. I'm originally from Australia, so. Overall, almost 12 years now. So
and there's obviously an attraction to Kobe for you. What was that then?
And that's, like I said, I would say it's that location. But the other big reason would be I mentioned that Kobe's quite international. So Kobe was one of the first cities to open up to international trade in Japan. So Japan was closed off for a long time, and you had and when Kobe sort of opened up, you had, you know, all these European merchants and traders coming in. So there's a legacy of internationalism there. So for me, coming into Japan and Kobe, it wasn't like I was just thrown into this entirely Japanese city that was completely foreign. You know, I had, you know, there was other Australians there, you know, Kiwis, you know, people from the UK, from Europe, from America. So I had quite a big international community there as well. So great food. So it wasn't like I was missing the things from home.
Of course.
You know, whereas you went somewhere, I guess, more rural or remote, you're going to get like a really probably authentic experience. But Kobe gives you, you know, the authentic experience plus a little bit of those comforts that you might miss from home. So I found it a nice place to settle.
Nice culture match.
It's a great mix of, the population is about 1.5 million, so it's quite large, but it's still got. It's still, you know, it's a lot calmer than some of the bigger cities in Japan. It's not as crowded. You know, you can still get on a train with relative ease. You don't have to, you know, you see those commercials where they rugby scrum everyone. You know, you don't have that in Kobe, which is pretty nice when you're commuting every day.
Excellent. That sounds great. I'm looking forward to hearing more as the years go on, and certainly a destination that I'm very much going to check out at some point in the near future, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, to anyone interested, like, the thing with Japan is it's not a big country, so, and like I said, the infrastructure is fantastic.
It's really good,
like, just the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, I mean, that connects you to so many amazing places. And I mean, you're from the UK, and I always say to people from the UK who might get
just clarify Scotland. But
Scotland, or part of the UK, and I would say, like the UK and those, you know, the British Isles and things, you've got a lot of diversity in a small area. So you can jump on a train for an hour and be
somewhere else.
You know, somewhere else in Japan, and they've got a different dialect. The food culture is completely different. So it's, you know, Kobe offers you just another snippet of Japan that's definitely worth checking out. Obviously, Kobe beef is the big one.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone comes to Kobe for Kobe beef, and you know that's a worthy sort of reason just for that to visit Kobe. But I would say there's a lot more than the beef.
Asia and the food culture is incredible. I just did 2 weeks in Malaysia, and every single day was something completely different. 2 or 3 times a day. It was just, you just didn't run out of things to try. Absolutely loved it. So.
And like that's, I think with Japan, a lot of people associate Japanese food culture with, you know, sushi. You know, and you've got a couple of other strange things that Japanese people eat that you might, you know, that sort of can turn some people off. But there's so much to it. You've got this amazing sort of what they call Japanese soul food, which is, you know, obviously you have teppanyaki, which is popular over the world. But teppanyaki in the rest of the world compared to Japan, like Japan has like cheap teppanyaki, you've got expensive teppanyaki. So much amazing variety. Like it's not like you just you know doing Kobe beef or meat. Noodle stuff, and it's just this incredible diverse food culture.
When I was coming out to the actual event in Bangkok, I was reading Anthony Bourdain's book Kitchen Confidential,
he loved
and he loved it. And he's talking about the first time he went to Tokyo, and his French chef friend who had a restaurant out there said, come to this sushi place in a back street in Tokyo. And he said that they tried absolutely everything and kept eating to the extent the chef actually phoned his family to say he'll be late, or I'll be late home, or come here to actually
probably running out of
yeah.
yeah, man. And then like Japan and Kobe's no exception. It's like, you know, I think again they just got crowned the country with the most Michelin awarded restaurants. It's just incredible, and it's not as expensive as people think. Especially now, the Japanese yen is quite low, so you can have a pretty luxurious trip and not break the bank. So I think it's definitely.
I think that's the first meeting of the day today, but I'm already feeling really hungry, so I appreciate that.
No worries.
Lance, thank you very much.
Dude,
Thank you.